Okay, I want you to picture something with me. Imagine a tiny object, so small you could easily mistake it for a penny, and it's hurtling right towards Earth. Today, we're going to explore exactly what happens when that penny makes impact. And trust me, the scenario is as mind-bending as it is absolutely terrifying. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, you heard that right. I'm just going to say it again because it's wild. It's smaller than a penny, but it weighs as much as the entire planet, and it's about to punch a hole through your living room. We're not just talking about a collision here. This is a full-on cosmic catastrophe on a scale that's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
So, the big question is, how on earth can something so tiny be that devastating? Well, first, we've got to understand the object itself. Let's really unpack this impossible penny. Get this. On one hand, you've got its size, which is about 2 centimeters. Smaller than a coin. You could lose it in your couch cushions. But on the other hand, its mass is equal to our entire planet. That's 6 sextillion tons of matter, all squeezed into this tiny, tiny space. It's a concentration of mass that just completely shatters our everyday understanding of physics. So, what are we actually talking about here? Well, the scientific term for this thing is a micro black hole. Now, this is a theoretical object where a truly unbelievable amount of mass gets packed into a minuscule volume. And what that does is create a gravitational field so powerful it literally warps space and time around it. That is the engine of destruction we're dealing with. Okay, so what happens when this tiny, supermassive object meets a planet like ours? You might be picturing a wrecking ball, but that's not quite right. A better way to think about it is like a cosmic bullet, or maybe even a needle that's about to pass straight through the Earth. When we think of black holes, we usually imagine them swallowing planets whole, right? But this one is so incredibly small that its interaction is totally different. It's way too tiny to just consume the planet in one go. Instead, its journey is much more direct, and believe me, far, far more violent. It's not here to eat the Earth, it's here to pierce it. Its path is this 3-step journey of just pure, raw devastation. First, it punches right through the Earth's crust, like it's tissue paper. Then, its own immense gravity pulls it straight down, right through the mantle and the molten core. And finally, in just a matter of minutes, it shoots out the other side, leaving behind a tunnel of unimaginable chaos. We've been talking on a planetary scale, which can be hard to grasp. So what does this actually look like for a person on the ground? Let's zoom the camera all the way in to see the human scale horror. This is the story of one very, very unlucky catch. So picture a guy named Chase just going about his day. He happens to look up and he sees this small, shiny object falling from the sky. Just a glint of copper in the sun. He thinks, hey, a lucky penny. He has absolutely no idea what's really coming for him. The entire thing is over in less than the blink of an eye. At 0 seconds, he sees it. At 0.1 seconds, he instinctively reaches out his hand to catch his lucky penny. And by 0.2 seconds, his arm is just gone, instantly stretched into a stream of atoms. It happens so fast, his brain can't even begin to register the pain. What just happened to Chase's arm has a name that is as bizarre as it sounds: spaghettification. The gravitational forces are so extreme that the part of his hand closer to the object is pulled with infinitely more force than, say, his elbow. His entire arm is stretched vertically while being crushed horizontally, all at the same time, turning it into a thin stream of matter. It's this gruesome atomic-level deconstruction. As horrifying as Chase's fate is, it's really just the opening act. So let's pull the camera back out again to see the true scale of this disaster. This is the moment the planet itself begins to shatter. This is the global aftermath. Magnitude 10. I want you to really think about that number. Not a magnitude 10 earthquake in one location. No, a magnitude 10 earthquake happening everywhere on the planet, all at the exact same time. The energy released shakes the entire globe with just this incomprehensible force. Every city, every continent, is literally tearing itself apart. So this is the endgame. A permanent molten tunnel now runs straight through the center of the Earth. Those global earthquakes are ripping civilization to shreds. And the sheer trauma to the planet causes the crust, the very ground beneath our feet, to just crumble and collapse. This is, in every single sense of the word, the end of the world. And that brings us to our final, pretty unsettling thought. We've just seen how a tiny object, something we could easily overlook, holds enough raw power to completely unmake our world in a matter of minutes.
So the question I want to leave you with is this. If a coin-sized object can do this, what other cosmic threats are out there, hiding in plain sight? What other impossibly dense, impossibly powerful dangers are just drifting silently through the void? It's a really sobering reminder of just how fragile our little corner of the universe actually is.